2, major insect pest and the parasitic plants of the crops. Block 3 is the plant pest management. The fourth one is the ecological pest management and practices. Okay, today we are discussing the major disease of the crop plant, some of the fungal diseases especially. Mm. Mainly, wheat is the caused by the Fuccinia gramineous triticale. The black gram, the black at the stem rust of wheat is caused by So the wheat cause of the Fucsinia graminestritis is the heterogeneous parasite. The complete its disease cycle in two verses. The and the barber is the wheat is the next one is the loose spot of wheat is the caused by the Islago Segnum and triticale. The spikelets of the affected ear get the deformed, the filled with the dry and the black powder mosses the chlamydospores. Thus, in the grains is formed. Rice disease, some of the rice diseases are the paddy blast, brown leaf spot of rice, foolish shilling disease of rice, wheat diseases, black stem rust, and smut of wheat. Next one is the definition and the terms of the some of the causal agent. What is the meaning of the causal agent? Mean the organism which causes the disease. The term is the causal organism or instant parasite. An organism which lives upon the living organic matter, which is the tissues, the plants or the animals, is also called as the parasite. Parasite may be not always the cause the diseases. Pathogen, a living entite, a living entite which causes the disease is also called as the pathogen. An inoculum, the inoculum is the disease causing of organism usually survives from the one growing season to the other growing. Next one is the penetration. Penetration is the prior to infection the casual organism lands on the host, resumes activity or germinates and the gains entry into the host directly or indirectly. The invasion of the host tissue by the living microorganism is also called as the penetration. Infection. Following penetration, the casual organisms grows vigorously in the host tissues and the establishes of the itself firmly. This is the establishment of the casual organisms in the body tissue. After the penetration is the term is the infection. Incubation period, the time interval between the inoculation and the appearance of the disease symptoms. Disease cycle, a series of events between infection and the complete development of any given disease constitute the disease cycle. Okay, these are the terms and definition of the some casual agents, parasite, pathogen, inoculum, penetration, infection, incubation period, disease cycle. And next one is the classification of the plant diseases. Okay, these are the plant disease may be classified into two main categories on the basis of the nature of the causal agent. Abiotic, non-living or non-infectious, and the biotic and living and infectious. Abiotic, non-parasitic or non-infectious disease. These are the induced by the unfavorable conditions of abiotic factors such as the soil or air, including the temperature, moisture, nutrition, toxicity, and cultural and malpractices. The common example of the non-parasitic disease, including the blossom and rot of the potatoes, the black heart of the potatoes, and sclad of apples, tiburn of the lettuce, and heat canker of the flax. These are all are the abiotic diseases. Biotic diseases also called as the parasitic or infectious diseases. These are the caused by the attacking of the living agents is called as the called casual agent or pathogen. The biotic casual agents, the term and the pathogen may be a plant or animal or viruses. It is also called as the parasite. The disease plant is also called as host. Examples of the biotic casual agents of the plant disease, including fungi, fungus like the organisms, Fumaitis, and bacteria, mycoplasma, spiroplasmas, viruses, virions, virus-like organisms, nematodes, protozoans, and parasitic air plants. Next one is the parasitic fungi. Fungi produce the largest number of plant pathogens and responsible for a range of serious plant diseases called as the fungal diseases. The fungal diseases are the First importance because they are the sometimes cause much damage and destruction to the plants by the killing cells and the causing plant stress. Paddy blast and the rice blast. Casual organism is the Pericularia variae or Magnoforte variae. Okay. Anamorph is the Pericularia variae. The casual organism is the Magnoforte variae. Paddy blast caused by the funguses. Magnoforte variae is one of the most devastating agriculture pathogens in the world, causing the significant loss in the yield. Blast disease is one of the most survived is the affecting of the body, and next one is the prevalent of the all over the world. Blast is also known as the rice blast, and next rice rotten neck, a rice seedling blight, a blast of rice, and a rice fever. There's a major problem in the rice production of the countries like the Japan, India, Taiwan, and the USA. The blast is the more survive in areas with the high humidity and the rainfall. It affects all the above ground parts of the rice plant, leaf and leaf blade, leaf sheaths, stems, collar node, neck parts of the panicle, seeds, and even roots. In India, the blast disease is the more common in the southern parts, particularly coastal areas. Losses due to the diseases may be up to 90% of the crop. Members of the Magnoforte Gracia complex can also infect the number of other agricultural important cereals, including the wheat, rye, barley, and pearl millet, causing disease also called as the blast disease or the blight disease. In survey causes infection of the entire crop, gives the blast appearance, hence the name is the blast. What are the symptoms of the paddy blast and the rice blast? The, the disease can infect the paddy to all the growth stages and all the aerial parts of the rice plant. Initial symptoms are the white, gray, green, lesions or spots with the brown borders produced in the all parts of the shoot. The small specks of the originate on leaves, the subsequently enlarge into the spindle shaped the spots. The ash center, the older lesions of the elliptical or spindle shaped and the whitish gray with the necrotic borders. Several spots of the collax to the from lesions of the neck or the grayish brown in the causing the griddling of the neck and the panicle of the flower. If infections of the neck occurs before milky stage, no grain form, but in the infection occurs the later grains or the poor quality of form. Lesions mainly it's the casual organism is the Pericularia variae or Pericularia grisa. The earlier name is the Pericularia variae. The pathogen blast disease rise is the Pericularia grisa. And next one is the perfect stage of the pathogen is the Magnoforte grisae, and these are the belongs to the Ascomycetes fungus. The mycelium is septate or multinucleate branch and highlight the oleoceous in color. The conidiophores develop in the singly or in cluster through the stomata. They are the rarely and solitary branch to four septae with the swollen base and the tapers toward the lighter apex. Conidia are the piriform to obliquate shape with the rounded base in the tapering or the narrow tip. Two septate, rarely one three septate helen are the paleolive with the distinctly portraying basal helium, the perfect stage of the rarely found in the field. A typical listen the leaf of the development 4,000 to 6,000 conidia night are the more than 2 weeks. 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 2 we These are the See, this one is the blast disease rise of the Prickleria variese. Okay, during the germination and brachyuria are developed in the tip of the germ tube. They are the globules oblong or ovoid. A disease cycle. Mainly, these are the disease cycle. The rice blasts of the fungus attack the rice plants in the all stage of the development and can infect the leaves, stems, nodes, and panicles. Foliar infection is initiated by the attachment of the conidium to the rice leaf cuticle. The conidium germinates, the produce the germ tubes, grows across the leaf surface, and penetrates by the producing the specialized infectious structure known as the Aproceria that infect the aerial tissues. Fungal hyphae ramify through the plant tissue, resulting in the disease, the lesions that are the symptomatic of rice blast disease. The fungus sporulates the profusely, producing the conidia from the disease lesions under the condition of the high humidity, allowing the disease of the spread rapidly, adjusting rice plants by the wind and the dewdrop of the splash. A single cycle can be completed in about the week under the favorable condition, where one lesion can generate up to the thousands of the spores in a single night. A disease lesion can appear in 3 to 4 days after the infection, with the ability to continue to produce the spores for the over 20 days. Rice blast lesions can be devastating the susceptible rice crops. Generally, rice blast is the favored by the moderate temperatures, 24 degrees, and the periods of the high temp moisture, that is the 12 hours, or longer conditions, radially attainable the flowed rice fields. What are the controlling methods of the rice blast? Mainly, the crop rotation is the crop rotation method, and remove the collateral weeds host from the bonds and the channels. Next one is the sanitation. The cleaning of the plant debris from the field reduce the source of the primary inoculum, reduce the disease incidency. Is the high quality and disease free seeds. Avoid the excess nitrogen uses. Apply the N nitrogen is the three split is the 50% of the basal and next to 25% of the tillering phase and the 20 remaining 25% of the panicle initiation. Maintain the proper flood level for the rice to grow. The chemical method, especially these are using the chemical, some of the fungicides, they can control the diseases. Chemical fungicides of the different groups are used in the different ways of the control diseases. A seed treatment, the pathogen is the seed borne, thereby the seed treatment is done with the agrosan and GN agrosan, copper sulfate, and the mixed with the aerofungus and benomyl fungicides like the carbondazone, and next one is the foliar sprays, the copper fungicide, the mixed with the mercury compound, the phenyl mercuric acetate, at the highly effect of the foliar spray. These are the rice blast. The next one is the brown leaf spot. Is also fungal diseases. Brown spot of the rice is known as the elemental sporiocysis. The disease is the distribute the almost of the rice growing tracts of the world, where it occurs the most severely Southeast Asia, Japan, Philippines, in the southern parts of the United States. In India, the disease is the first reported in 1922, and since the has been recorded the cause of the damage to rice crop eastern and the southern rice growing regions of the country. Besides the causing heavy leaf spotting, the severity of the disease may reduce the yield when ears may be the sterile and the grain formation may be stopped. The disease causes great economic loss infected. Most is the Voreza sativa. Next one is the causal organism is the Dricleria oryzae. What are the symptoms? The pathogen usually attack parts of the rice plant in the all stages of development, expecting the roots. There may be complete failure seed germination and seedlings thus come. What are the collateral host is the Cynidium dictolone and the Stellaria italica. They help with the penetration of the pathogen. Casual organisms is the pathogen Dracularia oryzae and the substrain and the gene. The earlier is also called as the Elementosporium oryzae, Breda NN. This is the asexual state of the pathogen. The sexual state of the Cochleoblus nebuinus in the turbe Dracea sex. Thus, the disease cycle. Brown spot rice is localized. The disease brown leaf spot. Elephantosporosis. The another name is the brown leaf spot is the caused by the some of the fungus. The perfect stage is the Cochleoblus miabe onus. The develop the perithel fruit body. Brown spot of rice is the localized disease, that is the pathogen restricted to the infected zone and cannot the pass along the distance through the inner tissue. The build up of the inoculum from the infected region disseminates in the further is the causes infection. Disease cycle of the brown spot. This is the conidiophores comes to the through the stomata and the later develop the conidia in new infection of the all parts. The second is the conidia are infected the inflorescency. Next one is the conidia on and the mycelium inside of the seeds, the dominant phases, the primary cycle. The germinated conidia and the activated mycelium, most of the infections, the all parts. This is the cycle. Disease management. Disease control, the cultural methods, eradication, the collateral gramineous is the field of the weed wars. Eradication is one of the major important. And the sanitation also another important aspect. Cleaning and burning of the previous year's infected plant debris are the effective of the reduce the source of the primary inoculum. Irrigation of water. During the irrigation, the water should not pass from the infected field and the field of without the diseases. Leaching of the metals, leaching down of the metallic elements like the ferrous, manganese, and potassium from the soil during the rain should be the checked. Otherwise, the plants become the more susceptible of the diseases. Application of the metals, addition of the metals like the potassium in the field of the during growth period reduce the severity of the disease. The spacing, the proper spacing of the during the transplanting also reducing the disease incidency. Nitrogen fertilizers, optimum nitrogen fertilizers application, transplanting to optimum traits provide to be the helpful for the reduction of the diseases. The physical control methods, all are the chemical control methods cultural methods. And next one is the physical control method, sunlight, the soaking of the seeds for the 24 hours in water, then the drying 50 to 50 degrees, 54 degrees, the bright sunlight to reduce the source of the primary inoculum by killing the activated mycelium. Hot water treatment. Hot water treatment is the 55 degrees for the 10 minutes, give the better control, reducing the primary. Next one, cold water treatment is another aspect. According to the Central Rice Research Institute of the CRRI, the Cuttack, some resistance can develop the inside the seedlings of the seeds are allowed to the germinate in the cold water. Next one is the physical method, and next one is the chemical method and cultural method. The next one is the chemical control of the disease. Brown leaf spot of disease is some of the chemical methods. Dry dressing, seed treatment, dry dressing of the infected seeds with the Cerson, Agrosan, GN is the reduce the diseases. Wet treatment, seed treatment with the silver nitrate, copper sulfate, the mercury chloride, the phenol, formaldehyde, and the calcium hypochlorine have been the found very effective in the controlling the diseases. Foliage treatment, spraying or dusting of the fungicide 2 or 3 times of the regular intervals gives the effective control of the diseases. Diathin and diazinon, Britox, and the bentin, Bodox mixture. These are using the control of the diseases. Disease tolerant varieties like the IR24 and Padma are comparatively resistant and can be grown the epiphytic areas. A number of disease tolerant varieties have been developed in India, particularly CRRI, the Central Research Institute of Cuttack, Odisha. There are the CS13, CH20, CH45, T14041, T 2114, IAT 13238, CR 843. All are the disease resistance bacteria. Next one is the police stealing of rice. There are also another fungal disease. It is also called as the Buccaneer rice caused by the Fusarium fusicori, Fusarium moniferum. The sexual stage is the Gibberella fusicori. Is one of the important diseases. The rice occurring throughout the rice the growing regions of the world. The disease was the first described from the Japan Sobatro Hori in 1898. The Buccaneer disease is also known as the foolish stealing disease or foot rot or Fusarium blight and is emerging as the significant disease in rice growing country in Asia. The word Buccaneer is the derived from the Japanese word which means the foolishnesses. Okay, foolish. It is found in the Philippines and China, Uganda, British Guinea, Italy, and other countries is known the different names. The disease was reported from the first time in India by the Thomas in 1931 from the Godavari Delta of Old Madras state, which is known as the Andhra Pradesh. The incidence of the disease was reported high from the part Punjab, Haryana, and Uttarakhand, and responsible for the 15% losses throughout the India. At present, the disease is not serious in India. The metabolism of the fungus produces the surplus of the gibberellic acid, which acts as the growth hormone, causing the hypertrophy. The affected seedlings showing the abnormal elongation and the saw causes may lead to the death. The disease helped the discovery of hormone gibberellin produced by the fungus Gibberella fusicori, casual organism. Fusiform moniferum is belongs to the Ascomyctina. The pathogen produces the asexual as well as the sexual spores. The pathogen produces the two types of the asexual spores, macroconidia and microconidia. Macro and microconidia. The microconidia are the island, the single cell and oval shaped, whereas the macroconidia are the slightly sickle shaped macroconidia. Narrow but the ends the 2 to 5 celled during the dormant season. The pathogen survives by producing the sclerotia having the dark blue color and the spherical shape. The sexual spores are the ascospores that are the formed within the sac called the ascus. What are the symptoms of the fully shielding of the rice? The fungus infects the rice seedlings through the roots in the base of the stem and becomes the systematic multiplying the within the infected tissues. The disease occurs in the nursery as well as in the main field. The symptoms of this disease can occur at any stages of the plant growing period of moniliforme causes different types of the symptoms starting from the pre-emergency shielding death and to grain the infection at the maturity. In the nursery, the disease affected the seedlings are the chlorotic and the pale thinner than the healthy plants and the abnormality elongated. Such seedlings show the wilting from the tip of the downwards and the finally die. During the vegetative growth of the plants, height abnormality increases to several inches taller than the normal plants. The infected plant shows the early forming flowering due to the production of the gibberellic acid. Formation of the adventitious roots in the lower nodes has been the reported from the India, and this the disease also called described the foot root. The infected plants show tall, thin, and the less number of tiller bearing of the pale green flag leaves. Plant, dis- plant dies within the few weeks due to the drying of the leaves. Occasionally, infected plants survive initially maturity but don't bear in the grains inside the panicles. Sometimes the fungus causes stunting of the plants. Disease cycle management. The disease spreads mainly through the airborne conidia and the fungus of the cervix, as parasitic and the sporophyte in the infected grains, plant debris, and also is the crop debris. Controlling elimination effect of the seeds, sealing treatment, the organomercurials like the agrosan and secretion at the rate of 2 grams per kg. Stepping the seeds in the 1% of the copper sulfate solution or 2% of the formalin is the recommended. Sealing dip treatment with the carbendazole at 0.2 percentage. Soil drenching with the carbendazole and defenzoles. This is the foliar application of the benzomidase and the carbendazole. And next another this is the black or stem rust of the wheat. These are the mainly wheat growing countries of the world. When the disease occurs in the all wheat growing countries of the world. In India, it appears the different times in the year, different parts of the country. It appears in the month of the March in the northern states, northern India. The southern and the peninsular India is appears very earlier in the fourth week of the November. The stem rust is the serious threat of the wheat in India. It causes the serious damage in the moist areas in March season. The nature and the extent the damage varies from the slight almost complete failure of the crop. This is of the symptoms of the Barbary worst, the primary worst and secondary worst. Elongated postulates the streaks are the produced on the stem on the leaf bases, leaf sheath, even on the glumes. These are the Iridia or Iridosauri. Each Iridosaurus contain the mass of the reddish brown of the rusty red. One cell is the binucleate iridospores. They are the exposed by the rupture of the leaf epidermis. The iridospores are the produced by the dikaryotic and the secondary mycelium parasiting of the tissue of the ose. This spore stage of the parasite is also called as the red rust or the summer stage. Later in the season, the sore turn black. This is the due to the season of the sore turn black. This is due to the absence of the two cell black teleospores or the teleospores in the place of the iridospores in the old iridia. When the grains are the almost ripe new and the independent oblong, the linear teleosori make the appearance on the stem of the host. They are the smooth and the dark brown or black in color. The overlaying epidermis is the ruptured and the spores are the exposed. The stems at this stage are the dry and cracked. The teleosori contain the mosses, a black two-celled spores called as the teletospores. There is no other marked abnormality in the appearance of the plants. Ca- Casual organism is the black stem of the rust is the symptoms on the barbarivores. The casual organism Furculia graminis and triticale. This is the heterococcus parasite, which is completes the disease two hosts, wheat and the barbary. Okay. This is cycle is the mainly the teleospores are the overwintering organs, which is the plants. India iridospores the constitute the primary inoculum. They are the carried from the distance high altitude the hills by the wind. After the usual resting period of the teleospores germinate in the institute in each cell of the produce the short promycelium into the which is the Syncarian migrates. Each Syncarian undergoes the meiosis. The promycelium or the epibasidium migrates. Each Syncarian undergoes the meiosis in the promycelium or the epibasidium. Segregation of the sexual strains takes the place. Walls are laid to the between the haploid nucleus so that the each promycelium and the epibasidium becomes the septate and the four cell each cell of the basidium produces the single uninucleate haploid basidiospores and of the stigma of the other four basidiospores the produce the two are the plus strains of the two strain minus strain. The Fuccinia graminatritic is the diagrammatic. This is the diagrammatic life cycle of the Fuccinia graminatritic. The first one is the teleospores enter next in the meiosis and they can form the promycelium. The promycelium they can produce the basidospores with the different strains. Basidospores they infect the barberry leaf and form of the pycneo and the opposite strains. The next one is the spermatium is the barberry pycnium, the opposite strains fused with the respective hypa. Next one these are the echiospores. As echiospores enter into the wheat and wheat organisms. Wheat and the echiospores so they can produce the iridospores. Iridospores the reinfection of the wheat leaves throughout the stomata. Iridospores, the teleospores. The teleospores also enter into the Barbary nectar drop method. Okay, these are the diagrammatic life cycle of the Puccinia graminis. What are the control control of the actually the part of the life cycle which is the past or the grain host of the wheat in the plant represent the Dikaryophase, the Fuccinia graminis triticale, and the polymorphic species, and it is the produce the succession of the different types of the spores. The control, cultivation of the rust resistance varieties is and the important means the combating disease. Some rust resistant varieties wheat and the available in India, NP 710, NP 718, and NP 770, NP 822, NP 823, NP 825. Next one is the chemical is the fungicide control the rust disease as the gain the prominency. Sulfur at the rate of 20 to 30% of the pounds for the acre has been the mostly is the chemical. In India, for spraying the pacroc liquid, the diathyn and the zinc sulfate in the 15 days, the interval from the first week and the February quite effective. And next one is the loose smut of the wheat. Loose spot of the wheat is the organism is the Islago sectum or the Islagotriticum. Islagotriticum is the these are the black powder mass, the spores, the chlamydospores are the oleo green spherical to oval in the shape. Minutely, disease cycle, disease control, the cultural method, the physical method, especially physical method is the hot water treatment. Next one, the solar energy treatment, water soaking treatment. These are the, all are the physical methods. Next one is the chemical methods. Chemical methods, dry dressing of the seeds, wet treatment, biological method, biocontrol, and Next one is mainly the strain of the Trichoderma viride, highly effective the biocontrol agent and the control loss of the smut of it. Disease tolerant varieties, IRA, they can develop in New Delhi Kalyan 227, PV 18, C 302, VG 307, the developed by the IRA Agriculture Research Institute. Okay, these are the all are the fungal diseases. Next, another fungal disease is the smut of the sorghum. Mainly is the casual organism, the Spichulotheca swargi, the mycelium. Okay. Next one is the what are the symptoms of the smut caused by the Spichulotheca? The effect of the plants stunted in the produce the thinner Spichulotheca swargi, smut of sorghum, the casual organism. Next one is the head smut, loose smut. Loose smut is caused by the disease caused by the Spichulotheca cruenta is the cause the loose smut or loose kernel smut. And the leaves the smut occurs in the China, Iran, Italy, Africa, and USA. Physiologica cutina, the Carola. It's in the green ear disease are the downy mildew of the bajra. The green ear disease or the down mildew of the bajra is the common disease occurring in all of the countries between the bajra crop grown. In India, disease was the first reported in the study by the Butler. In India, downy mildew epidemics caused the substation and yield loss. Symptoms, these are the mainly symptoms appear in the two phases. One is the seedling stage, another one is the unflorescency. On seedling stage, they infected the seedlings turn pale yellow and they become stunted due to the shortening in nematodes. Infection at the early stage of the cause stunting without any tiller formation. Infection at the later stage causes the stunting with the excessive tiller formation and thus the plant becomes the bushy. The leaves of the infected plant develop the pale and the chlorotic broad specks of the upper surface of and the lower side of the leaves. In severe infection, entire the foliage becomes the white and downhill growth the fungus and fluorescency. The infected plants the fail from the palm. What are the casual and Sclerospora graminocola? Next is the scrot. The fungus is the obligate parasite. That belongs to the Mastromycotina. The hyphae are the Sinusitic and the branch, the growth, intercalary developed. What are the controlling of the green bajra and the ear green downy middle of the bajra and green ear of the diseases? Mainly the pathogen primarily soil borne and the persistent soil up to the 5 years more. It is the difficult to control diseases. Rotation method, removal of the disease plants, the burning immediately checks the diseases. Treatment seed is hot water treatment. Seed treatment with the 0.1 agrosan and the percent thyrin and the use the disease resistance varieties like the HB1, HB15 chemicals, different groups of the very effective the foliar spray, monocosm and the captain and the prawn redomal root treatment. Next one is the powder mildew of the cucumber is the powder mildew of the common fungal disease, the worldwide occurrence the cucumber. Cucurbit the some of the cucumber crops, powder mildew. Casual organisms are the Podospiraca xanthi and Erysipe circosterian. These are the both are the casual organisms. Powder mildew of the cucumbers. There also control the pruning and removing the disease foliage from the plant and the destroying. Use the disease resistance. Effective fungicides include the finally powdered sulfur in the lime sulfur potassium bicarbonate. Biofungicides, downhill of the grace. Downhill of is the widespread and the highly destructive disease of the grapeness in all the grape growing the areas the world that is can the results in the survey crops losses, early infection of the young bunches. The underside of the grapes leaf is showing the typical down. These are the sporangia pathogen. Corn spot of the maize The disease symptoms, smart infection often the results of the abnormal growth of the plant tissue into the tumor-like galls. The disease of the easily recognize the transport of the maize. Main casual organisms is the Isplagomydes is the casual organisms or okay. This is controlled rotation crops. Next one, the sanitation. The infection of the incidence of the color reduces the inflammation. Groundnut of the leaf spot, ticka disease of the groundnuts. Mainly these are the casual organism Cercospora personata and Cercospora arachidicola. In the early leaf spot of the Cercospora personata. Next one, late leaf spot is the Cercospora arachidicola. What are the symptoms of the personata? And next one is the leaf arachidicola. Leaf spots are small or the more circular and about the 1.6 mm the diameter. Small size of the leaf spots in the personata. Leaf spots are the comparatively larger in size, irregular circle in the outline of the 4 to 10 diameter. The necrotic lesions appear on both of the leaf surface of the change from the dark brown and the brown color. The leaf spots are from the confluent and the necrotic lesions occur the both of the surface. These are the upper surface of the reddish. Young spots lack the bright yellow hollow, which is over the develops around the older ones. The yellow hollow around the each spot, but the mycelium also and the mycelium consists of the hyphae which are the entirely internal. The consists of the both external internal hyphae. The septae is the rampi in the intracellular spaces and the obtain nutrition by the sending branch. The internal hyphae are the both intracellular and the intracellular postoria. The unbranched conidiophores arise the tufts from the dense stromata in Cercospora personata. The unbranched conidiophores arise instructed from the stroma. The conidiophores are the confined the lower surface, especially you can see in personata. The conidiophores small occur in the upper surface, the host of the leaf in Cercospora arachidicola. The conidia are the obligate or the cylindrical light colored in the length of in the breadth. The conidia are the obligate highlighted in the pale yellow, slightly oleous. Okay, next one is the disease control, cultural methods, sanitation, crop rotation, early sowing, use of the resistance varieties, chemical methods. Cotton wilt also these are the mainly affected by the Fusarium oxysporum, cotton wilt. Okay, all are the fungal diseases.